What's up, everybody? It's your boy Hawk, and welcome to another video. The season's coming to an end. There's literally 2-3 games max. Most teams just 1 or 2 games left before the season is over. Then we're getting ready for the play-in, and everybody's dropping their end of season awards. They're all NBA teams, their MVP, their Rookie of the Year, all that stuff. And yes, I'm making my own list as well. I've been struggling with MVP, to be honest with you. While I've been getting my notes together over the last couple of days, I came across this tweet earlier today and decided, let's talk about Defensive Player of the Year. Scrolling on Twitter, follow my boy Smart Takes. He's a really good follow. You should check him out. And he's quote tweeting D-Ball, basically sharing what his picks are. He had Defensive Player of the Year, Victor Wembanyama, runner-up Rudy Gobert. Debated this for a solid 10 minutes, which I completely understand. It's been an internal turmoil in myself for the last couple of weeks over the Defensive Player of the Year award. Smart Takes quote tweets it and says the last time a player won Defensive Player of the Year while his team was under 500 was 1987. There's one thing I always say, there's nothing new under the sun. And if this happened before in 1987, why can't it happen again in 2024? Both players have been absolutely incredible all season. Victor Wembanyama, Rudy Gobert, phenomenal on the defensive end of the ball. And as we've gotten closer and closer to the end of the season and people thinking about the Defensive Player award, one of the main pushbacks or counter arguments I hear when talking about this award and why Victor can't win it is honestly simply just, oh, this team hasn't won enough games, or there's no way a person who's on a team that's at the bottom of the conference can win this. And I don't know why, but for some reason, that's not good enough of an answer for me. Typically, yes, Defensive Player of the Year has been on winning teams, but I also don't feel like, at least in my lifetime, personally, with my own eyes, I've witnessed a defender this good, period. And I'll be honest, I wouldn't be splitting hairs on this so much if Victor just felt like a really good defender, or Victor just felt like a great defender even. No, Victor Wembanyama seems like and appears on the court as, and plays like, I should say, like a generational, like elite level defender. All that being said, I'm still a little split on who should get it, Rudy or Victor Wembanyama. If Rudy wins it, that'll give him his 4th one, tying him for the most all-time with Dikembe Mutombo and Ben Wallace. If Victor wins it, he'll be the first rookie in NBA history to win a Defensive Player of the Year. I want to talk about Victor Wembanyama first. He's averaging 21 points, but that's not really what we're focusing on. 10 rebounds a game, about a steal and a half a game, and almost 4 blocks a game, 3.5 blocks a game, leading the league in blocks per game. If you've ever tuned to at least one Spurs game, you've seen Victor Wembanyama play some really great defense. His ability to play in space, not necessarily as good as someone like Bam Adebayo or even Anthony Davis, but his footwork is good enough to play up on a hard hedge or play at the level of a screen. And at times you'll see his footwork get a little sloppy in terms of sliding and trying to keep up with guards. I think that'll get more refined as he stays in the league and just gets more experience in the league. But still, even at this level, his footwork in space, staying with the guard on switches, is better than your average big man. It's much better than your average big man. And in the cases where he does get beat, or that guard is able to get past him, that guard does decide to potentially pull up for that jump shot, his length and ability to contest that jump shot, if not block it, or if the guard gets past him, his ability to recover and really defend that shot from behind at the rim, whether it be a block or altering that shot so the guard doesn't make it, or make it tougher on the guard. I think he's been way better than most people anticipated in guarding the post. One of the big question marks, obviously, because of his thin frame, was his other bigs are going to body him up. My argument against that was there's only like a handful of bigs that are really trying to body people up at an elite level in the post anyway. And everyone else is, yes, trying to score in the post, but not at an elite level. And a lot of guys struggled to score against Wemby in the post this season simply because, one, his height makes such an impact, but I think he was stronger than a lot of people were expecting. And another thing that I just thought was interesting as the season continued on, guys were excited to try to catch a body on Victor Wembanyama, to try to catch him in a poster. People were aiming for trying to dunk on him this season. And honestly, it reminded me a lot of Rudy Gobert when he was in Utah, when people had him as the undisputed best rim protector in the league. Guys who attacked the basket were looking to catch Rudy in a poster, and people were looking to do that on Wemby. Just a little sign of the level of respect that he was getting from his peers. One thing that stands out to me so much with Victor Wembanyama, in terms of you're looking at his stats and his defensive stats, his blocks, his rebounds, his steals, is that he played most of this season on a minutes restriction. So those 3.5 blocks a game, those 1.5 steals a game, that's on 29 minutes a game, like I said. I want to give you the totals of what some of these stats are to put it in perspective of how great his defense was on limited minutes. Wemby this season played in 2,069 minutes. He has 87 steals on the season. That's 19th in the NBA. For some context, Giannis has 87 and Anthony Davis has 88. Giannis has played 2,500 minutes and Anthony Davis has played 2,600 minutes. So 500 and 600 more minutes, one more steal between the two of those guys. And no, those guys aren't necessarily known for crazy, lock up on ball steal defenders, but those are guys with defensive smarts, long, athletic, can play passing lanes, can get a steal on a center if he's trying to dribble. Like, those guys are elite defenders in their own rights. Wemby has 743 rebounds on the season, putting him at 10th in the league. Bam has 725 at 11th with 2,300 minutes, so 300 more minutes than Wemby. Bam's not known to be, the best rebounder in the league by no means, but he is a good rebounder and one of the best defenders in the league. And rebounding and closing out defensive possessions is a big part of playing elite defense, especially at the big man position. And then this is the one where it gets absolutely insane with Wemby. Wemby for the season has 252 blocks, leads the NBA in blocks. Brook Lopez has 186, 2,300 minutes. Chet has 186 as well, 2,300 minutes. Anthony Davis has 176, 2,600 minutes. Rudy has 156, 2,500 minutes. All of those guys at minimum have 300 more minutes than Wemby, and Wemby almost has at the very least 50 more blocks than these guys. It's absolutely insane. And mind you, Brook Lopez, Anthony Davis, Rudy Gobert, solidified, seasoned, well-known elite defenders in the league, and Chet Holmgren, another rookie, have an elite level defensive season. But like I said earlier, I want to make this clear. All that being said for Wemby, I'm still a little split on who my defensive player of the year is. So I want to show some love to Rudy Gobert as well, because he has also been playing elite level defense. I've been a fan of Rudy for years. I've been rocking for Rudy back in the Utah days when everybody's hating on him. I thought the contract he got was worth it, and I thought the trade for him, it was a lot, but I didn't think it was too much. I just want y'all to know where my mindset is when on Rudy Gobert, so this doesn't come across as hate. Rudy is still one of the best, if not the best, rim protector in the league. He is the defensive hub for the best defense in the NBA. The Timberwolves have the best defensive rating in the NBA, and they allow their opponents to score the least amount of points in the NBA. Elite level defense. Yes, the Timberwolves have plenty of great defenders around Rudy, but don't get it twisted. He is the defensive hub. His ability to be the rim protector that he is allows his guards to play a more aggressive style of defense, to try to jump on passing lanes a little bit more, because they know if they get beat, they have Rudy behind them. Rudy does play a lot of drop coverage and a pick and roll and pick and pop situations, but his defense in space has been better than it has been in the past. It's probably his best year in terms of playing in space. We talked about his blocks numbers earlier, but as we all know, even if Rudy doesn't get the block, he's still altering shots at the rim. He's an excellent post defender. And to be honest with you, part of me wants Rudy Gobert to win just for the history of it all. I think it'd be great to see him be tied with those guys as the most defensive player of the year awards of all time. Because if we're being honest, and if you were going to be honest with yourself here, Rudy Gobert, to me, for most of his career, which is like, the past decade, has been the best defender in the league for the majority of this past decade. Or I'd at least say the best paint protector in the league for the majority of this past decade. And also, if I'm being honest, I wouldn't be mad if he wins it here. I almost want him to win it here, because if he don't win this one, I don't know in his future how many more he's going to win as Wemby continues to get better and better and better and better. So like I said, I am split on the two. And if Rudy wins, I'll be happy. If Victor wins, I'll be happy. But if I had a vote, I'm picking Victor Wembanyama, because to me, he has been the best defender in the NBA. And when I ask other people why he can't win, no one's really telling me anything in terms of what makes Rudy so great at it or why Rudy should win it over him. The response I usually get is, well, I mean, the Spurs aren't a winning team, or the Spurs team defense is so bad. And both of those are valid statements, and both of those are true statements. Spurs team defense is not great, and the Spurs do not have a lot of wins. But when I watch the games, Victor Wembanyama is the best defender in the league this season. As always, thanks so much for watching. Let me know who your defensive player of the year is. I'm curious. Am I tripping? Do you got Rudy? Do you got Wemby? Do you have somebody else? Let me know down in the comments below. If you made it this far, as always, you are a real one. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. And if you're new around here and like to see more, feel free to subscribe. I'll catch you next one. I'm out. Peace.